What up, guys? Welcome to Fresh Off the Mats, episode 2 with the Jiu-Jitsu Joes. Sorry that this episode's being uploaded a couple of days after Sunday. Unfortunately, we did have a major event happen this past week. We just got through with Hurricane Ian. Kind of devastated Southwest Florida, and that's pretty much why this episode is late. We apologize. Moving forward, we're going to try to keep on schedule. And how was your experience with the hurricane?
I can say that personally, I'm good.
Yeah.
Got power and water back on 2 days after. A lot different than a lot of people that I know, and so I'm happy. We were able to also go over to a friend's house while that we were in that situation, and then after coming back now, I've been just trying to help people also set up my schedule, getting back into the normal routine, get myself back into the gym. Try to outside stresses of the world, get back into doing what we need to do.
Man, it was crazy because on my end everything's fine. Same thing like you. We lost power, came on I think 2 or 3 days later. Water's fine. Everything's good on our end.
Yeah.
We got it. I think we are very blessed and very lucky in the aspect that we didn't get hit so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said before, a lot of people got it way worse than we did. Lost their houses, lost
Cars,
vehicles,
businesses.
lost boats, businesses. It's a pretty tragic thing we had happen in Southwest Florida. If you're out there and you could donate, whether it's to Red Cross or any of those donation things, please donate.
People would be very happy and much appreciated of it all.
Do your research where you donate to, because unfortunately in the time and era we live in, people are putting scams out there and taking advantage of people's generosity. So please make sure that you're doing your research as where you're donating. But anything you donate could help to a lot of people in Southwest Florida. It's messed up, man. I have friends that lost their whole livelihoods.
Yeah.
They basically just have the clothes off their back right now.
I know some people, you see photos and things like that. I know people personally, they've lost multiple vehicles, multiple houses, just rentals and things like that. And it's sad where I see some people, they're like, oh, they got money and all that, they'll be fine. It's no matter what, these are good people, personally knowing them, these are people that they donate as much as they can. Yeah. And now it's that's another step back that they can't help as many other people with what they have. And
people always say after these things happen, as long as you have your life, that's most important. And yes, that is most important, that you have your life and that you're alive and things are okay. That is most important. But we can't minimize the fact that losing everything you own is an inconvenience and sucks.
Things like that.
Yeah, and that can make the difference between being homeless, just losing everything you have, man. So it's
a friend of mine, their whole family, his father had 800 old school records. Yeah. 800 old school records, all collected, all their family photos from their great grandparents, all sitting in their garage and all that. Because for the people that don't know, we weren't expecting to be hit by this hurricane. Yeah. It was supposed to go straight up and avoid us, and we were just going to get some rain, and then last second took a 90-degree turn and just stayed on us the whole entire time. And it
slowed down too.
It was slow. It was about almost 12 hours of straight wind, just constant wind and water hitting us, and most hurricanes aren't like that. So it sucks. People, that's the thing. It's maybe you do have your life, but now you lost your whole history. You lost everything, collectibles. You lost your house, and it's rebuilding, especially when we're in a city like how we are. We're not designed for something like this where it's expected. Yeah. And it's now we're seeing a lot of displaced people, and it's going to be a while, but it's a strong city. A lot of the communities have been getting together. This morning I was doing something to kind of help out, feed some of the first responders and guys like that. And then we're opening the gym's opening up, so people are able to get their whole mental going back, and again, setting that routine is, I think, going to be a big help for a lot of people. Is just take that step out of the chaos that's in your life right now, and then you're able to get back into some sort of rhythm and again have a place to escape, which is really nice to have.
I think when things like this happen, these natural disasters, these big events, I don't think people realize how important it is to try to get back to your routine as soon as possible. People like to, and it's only natural that you dwell on this negative thing that just happened to you, but there's such a benefit and such a positive thing that comes out of, okay, I'm going to get back to my routine. I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to get back to the gym. I'm going to get back to doing what I love to do daily and try to get back to some sense of normalcy. And I think this helps you recover after these bad things happen faster if you could get back to your routine as quickly as possible.
Oh, for sure. And like one of the things, one of our members, he comes here, he said it this morning, and he was like, you can't pour someone anything from an empty cup. So it's like when you fill yourself up and you get yourself back to feeling good in a matter of any type of chaos, whether it's a natural disaster or maybe just normal things like you lost your job or stuff, it's like, yes, sit in it for a bit, understand it happened, you can accept it, just like good things in life. It goes both ways. If you have something really good happen, all right, that will pass. I saw, it was Tom Hanks, actually, it was a big thing he said. He was like, good things happen. Oh, okay, this will pass. Bad things happen. Okay, this will pass. And it's like, when you understand and you live your life like, yes, you can celebrate those things or you can grieve over something, but understand that time will pass. And when you start getting your life back to this working out routine, because that's going to be very good for you physically and mentally, you're able to start eating better just to feed yourself nutritiously. It's going to get you really focused and back on board. Getting to work just to be around that environment again and just having that normalcy back in life is what's, I think, going to help a lot of people. I mean, right now we have a lot of first responders that come here, so it's going to be going to be wild seeing a lot of those guys, but it's going to be nice when they start able to trickle back in to really get that time away, like that being able to time to check out.
That endorphin. I'll pull the chair away. Let's make it TV water. Just pull it in. Yeah. What do you call it? That endorphins that you get from working out, from doing what you love to do. I think this helps break that negativity of this just happened to me. This just happened to me. This just happened to me. It's even if you go for a 30-minute walk, those endorphins just to pump through your body, I think it makes you make better life choices too. And this starts this snowball effect of, okay, I'm in this bad situation, but I went to the gym and I worked out today, or I went for a walk, or I went for a hike, or I did something that promotes those endorphins. Okay, now what's the next step to keep this momentum going?
Little things. And it's
you just need that momentum to keep going of, this positivity. If you stay in this negative thing, you're like, I lost everything, or I lost my job. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna sit in my wallows and be upset and sad all the time. Bro, this thing compounds and negative and negative and negative and no positive. And it causes this mindset of like, I don't want to say like, this is going to sound harsh, but like a loser mentality of like, the world is out to get me. Things are so bad in my life. How many people you know that are like, it's the end of the world. Everyone's out to get me. Yeah. Everything that happens bad in my life is because XYZ. Bro, you got to take the right steps towards making positive changes. And that's only going to happen with the baby steps. What can you control? Okay, I could go to a gym for 30 minutes. Doesn't have to be crazy. But let me go to a gym for 30 minutes.
For 5 minutes. There was a guy, he made a year worth of progress. It was followed. He would step in the gym just building a good habit where it started off, he would walk in the gym and walk out. He didn't work out. He walked to the gym and walked out. Yep. That's all he would do. He did that for a few weeks. Yep. After that, he was like, all right, let me work out for like a minute. And he was serious about it. 1 minute. He'd go up to like the curl rack or something, curls, and then he'd walk out. But what he was doing in his brain and just building the habit of, one, showing up to the gym. That's the toughest part. That's the toughest part.
That's the toughest
it's just
part.
Getting there. And he realized what it was. He was like, I'm not going to work out like crazy. But then he started working out. And now this guy is consistent. Every single day shows up to the gym. And why? Because he started with the smallest thing of what he can control, which is let me just be there. Yep. Let me show up to the front door, walk in, walk out. That was it.
The hardest part of my day, like people they think that like, you work out for an hour a day or you work out for 2 hours a day, that you just from day one were like, I just go to the gym for 2 hours a day from right off the bat from day one. And it doesn't work that way. Like you said, just the effort of leaving the house to get to the gym. The hardest part of my day, I'm telling you right now, is packing my gym bag, packing my rash guards, packing, my sneakers, my socks. That's the hardest part of my day, is getting my gear together. But once you leave the house and you get to the gym and like you start to stretch, you warm up, it's that what we talked about before, the momentum, the positive momentum. Okay, I left the house. Okay, now I'm committed to getting to the gym. Okay, now I'm through the front door. Okay, now I started to stretch. Now I'm getting a good pump in. And sometimes those tough days, like those days where like you're sore, everything's locked up. It's Thursday or Friday. It's towards the end of the week where everything's starting to settle in and get tough. Sometimes just to get to the gym and start warming up, it releases all that tension in your body, just a warm up. And you're like, oh, okay, now I could roll for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. You know, I could go lift weights for an hour, and like midway through, the pump is helping release all that tension and all that locked upness. And this doesn't happen if you don't take that step to get out of your head and just get through the front door.
Exactly. And it brings it back to that point of like getting out of that whole mentality of like the woe is me mentality.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of bad things happen to people, right? Like I've been in those positions where it's like, man, I don't have work. I have no source of income. Like what's going on? I have my wife, I got my dogs that I have to take care of, right? It's just like, I can't sit there. If I sat there, it's like, well then I wouldn't be where I'm at now, where I now have my own dog training business. I'm running personal training businesses. Like I wouldn't have that if I just sat there and was like, oh, the world's out to get me. Everything's falling apart. And that's where it's like, the gym isn't the end all be all solution. But it's one of the ways where if you take self-care seriously, it's just going to be one of those compounding actions that no matter what, when you start like, okay, I have to take care of myself. Yes, be selfish. And I hate this in today's world where people make selfishness such a bad thing. It's like, no, there's certain selfish acts that are horrible. Like if you're sitting on like billions of dollars and you can't afford to go give like $1 to somebody, right? Obviously exaggerations, but like, help out if you can, but you have to do it from when you have that full cup. Like if you're able to actually go do something, then help out. One, it's going to also make you feel good, and let me tell you, it's a weird feeling of not being affected by like this major event, and that weird like guilt feeling of like, wow, I wasn't affected, but I know all these people that lost their houses and stuff. Like it's weird.
Well, they
like,
call it survivor's guilt.
Yeah,
it's this whole thing of like, oh my God, I was not fazed by this bad event, but I know so many people who are, and you feel guilty that like, man, nothing bad happened to me, but like I know people who lost everything. Bro, you help out the best. That's your time to shine, to help out the best you can.
Exactly.
And you cannot do these things if you do not control what you can. Like you said earlier, if you don't have work, you were saying earlier, let's say there's no work coming around. But you can't control that. You can, to a certain degree, control, promoting and things and going out. But sometimes in life,
I had to do. That's what I jumped right to.
But sometimes in life, you can't control certain aspects of what's happening. But there are things in the world that you can control. So why not take advantage of the things you can control when everything's crumbling around you? We've all been there. You lose a job, things aren't going right, unexpected bills come up. We've all been there. So why not take control of what you can and say, okay, things are rough in my 24-hour day, but I sleep for 6, 7, 8 hours a day. That takes out a chunk. The remaining time, things are really hard for me. I'm stressed out. Let me take one of those hours to go just better myself. Take my mind off of it. A, clears your mind. B, I think that helps you make better decisions on the negative things later on.
You took that step away.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things a guy I
so
love
take
listening
control
to
of what you can.
is Jocko Willink. He's
he's
a great guy. I love listening to, and one of his biggest things he preaches is to take that step back.
Yeah.
Take a step out of the situation and analyze it from a whole aspect instead of sitting in your emotion and sitting in this negative light, which I understand it's very hard for a lot of people right now. Like what he just said is, I'm trying, right? What I'm doing for most people is the people that I know personally is, hey, I have a 1-bedroom apartment, but I have a stove and I got a shower. If you need it, come over. Like we can cook for you. We can get some food on the stove. You can get a hot meal and you can take a shower in some hot water instead of taking it in some cold water if they have water back on, right?
Oh yeah.
So trying to help as best as I can. But again, if I sat, let's say, and I get it, survival skill isn't as bad as actually going through the negative things. But if I sat there and I was just like, oh man, I feel horrible about my life right now. Like I can't believe like I wasn't affected. It would have been such a weird thing.
Simple thing.
Yeah.
Go get one of these and just bring it to somebody.
Yeah.
A simple gallon of water.
It's like you can help people out in the smallest ways. Like today, I literally saw a grown man cry because he was able to get a hot meal.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand, and I'm not saying it wasn't gourmet. It was, he got an egg, a hash brown, some bacon, and a hot cup of coffee, and he was crying because it was his first hot meal in a week.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just a week, and I get it. There are people outside of the world that have it a lot worse than us.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, it doesn't take away from what that person's going through. So trying to do your best to help as many people, but again, it comes back to you got to take care of yourself. Like you have to put yourself out there first, because then when you do, man, like
But
you
people-
can help so many people.
But like you said before, I think you touched upon it, but I want to expand upon it, is people will criticize you for doing that. People will be like, oh, you're selfish for thinking about yourself. You're selfish for always going to the gym 6 days a week or 7 days a week for an hour. That's selfish, and because you're taking care of yourself. I'm sorry, that's bullshit, dude.
Yeah,
it's
it
1
is.
hour a day.
And I was like, no, it is selfish. And I'm proud to be this selfish for it.
And I'm okay with being selfish in this aspect. Like, when people are like, oh, come on, you're fit. You don't need to work out every day. You don't need to go do jiu-jitsu 2-3 hours a day. Bro, this is selfish, but it's a good selfish because I think a lot clearer and I notice the difference. And that's another thing. People don't take a checklist of themselves. I notice a difference. If I go 2, 3, 4 days without doing jiu-jitsu, if I go 2, 3, 4 days without working out, I notice how different the version of Joe is.
Yeah, irritated, frustrated, get angry easy.
Pissed off, angry. Bro, some guy could cut me off in traffic after jiu-jitsu, and I don't care. I'm like,
I'm
oh,
coasting
whatever.
through like fun. That's
No
right.
problem, go for it. But if somebody after 4 days, 5 days of me not being to the gym cuts me off, what happens? Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Right,
What's
you're
happening?
freaking out like,
Bro,
fuck
I'm
you,
gonna
dude.
kill this guy. Bro, it's important to take care of those things and be selfish sometimes. And anyone who tells you that, oh, you should live your life 0% being selfish, they're full of shit.
Like, give everything. You
They're
can't
full
give
of shit.
You can't give everything if you have nothing. And
Exactly.
That's another thing going towards like a weird aspect, but like when people like this whole mentality in today's world is shitting on the rich, and I'm like, do you understand what they do? Like, just even a small business owner, they may not have millions, but even like hundreds of thousands, the amount of impact that they're able to do to a local community. And people have this envision because they see it on like movies and TV that these billionaires are these horrible-ended people. Most of these guys, if you don't understand, are donating millions. Yes, and people will be like, oh, it's to avoid taxes. Who cares? Because I'm probably
Are they still donating?
Yeah,
is there still a positivity coming out of it?
Exactly.
So he gets a tax break. Kill the guy because he gets a tax break, some kickback.
How dare you get a kickback for donating and people have this conception where they don't understand that is millions of dollars that are going to feed people, house people, clothe people, and it's just like, but they would never have done that if you said, oh, you can't be rich.
I want to know when grinding and working hard became such a negative looked at thing in this country, because I really don't get it. Because this country, people talk about, oh, America used to be great, used to be this. This happened because of innovators, people going out and striving and wanting more. And hey, we're going to invent the Model T. The guy makes millions of dollars in the process. What's so bad about that?
Like he made
What's
a
so
car,
bad about
he
that?
made a car
Why
that
are all
everyone
these things
wants?
made in different countries now? Bro, why? Why is this cup made in a different country? This TV, this table. Bro, nobody wants to do the hard shit to make the money, dude.
And it was a conversation I was having with someone where, and it's a touchy subject. I'm gonna let you guys know
Super
now.
touchy.
Where people,
Bro, we're gonna piss off a lot of people right now, but honestly, I don't care, because we have to get back to this point where it's not looked at to be wrong. You're a millionaire. You made it. You did a great thing. You have your business. You have a successful life. And now we're gonna witch hunt you over that. Oh, how dare you be a millionaire? How dare you reach your goals in life? That's bullshit.
It's like, why, how about go ask them?
Yeah.
Hey man, what you do?
Yeah.
What do you invest in? Where are you putting your money? How do you handle it? Who's your tax guy? How are you knowing these tax things?
Ask them about their setbacks,
Yeah.
bro.
But then,
Hey, how many setbacks did you have? What was
long did it take?
what was the worst setback you ever had? You know, my cousin Steve, that I own the properties in Tennessee with, we talk a lot about this kind of stuff, and we talked. You know, we have friends that like are multimillionaires. They have like successful businesses, and one of the things like we like to bring up is like, how did you handle like your worst setback?
And you have to know that.
You have to. These people are not just
going to go like this. You see all these memes and charts, everyone talking about success, and no matter how many times people see it, they expect it.
They expect it to be straight
little mountain,
dude,
that never has a dip or curve or jagged rocks or a complete fall off to then out of nowhere.
Me and you don't work traditional 9-to-5 jobs,
No.
so I don't know how much you want to disclose on what you do as for work on this or whatever. But for me, on my aspect of it is, I own the Jiu-Jitsu gym with Fabio, and I have properties in Tennessee. I don't mind being fully open about what I do. And this was not this trajectory of like things were low and it just always went like this. My chart looks like this. Goes up, down, up, down, up, down. Fail, success, fail, success. Bro, that's the way it is. But people only see, and that's the problem with social media, is people only see the good things. So they think, oh, Conor McGregor in the UFC, he's so successful right now. He's amazing. He's on the upswing. And anything he touches turns to gold. But they don't realize, bro, you know how many setbacks the guy had? He was poor at one point. Yes. His wife was paying for his food and everything.
His training programs, his rent, him just to eat. Like, it was all on her.
But is Conor McGregor in those times going to post on social media, oh, my wife's making my food today? No, they only post the good times when things are good. Oh, my new Lamborghini. Oh,
this is so bad. And it's not bad either.
It's not bad. But the problem with social media is it gives a false sense to the younger generation that things should always be on the upswing. Yes. And there should never be a downswing.
Second, like, something comes and hits them, they're just like, oh no, like, what just happened?
They don't know how to handle pressure. Yeah. They have any type of resistance. I've noticed this with younger generation. Fuck younger generation. Our generation started this shit. I think our generation is to blame for a lot of it, and it's trickling down to the younger generation where any type of resistance or pushback they get, they crumble. They cannot handle any type of pressure. Any type of setback is detrimental to them. Oh my God, things are not good. Oh my God, I'm going to have a meltdown and I don't know how to handle it. But we talked about it earlier. Bro, take the baby steps. Yep. Go to the gym. Go outside. Go do something that you're passionate about. Take those tiny steps and the upswing will come at some point if you take the little steps.
And this isn't saying like to revert all the way back is to where like being selfish means you only have to focus on yourself. If you get that full feeling to where you can get yourself back to routine by helping others, then go do it.
Yeah.
Do whatever you need to do. Whatever makes you mentally capable to just power through the suck.
Yeah.
Go do it. And obviously in a healthy manner. Don't do these crazy things where people just like go like on weird binges and stuff. Don't do any of that where people say, oh, partying makes me feel good. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, that's like, it's like drugs. Like, it's gonna make you feel good for that night, and then you're gonna come back and you're not gonna be good. Do something that will better yourself or better someone else, and that's what's gonna really be the compounding thing, because you have to look at it like there's no negativity in like partying and all that. Like, have fun. Everyone enjoys it.
But the partying is a short-term fix. Yes. That's the problem. And people get this short-term endorphin hit and the short-term fix of like, we had a great night tonight. But then the next day they're hungover. The next day they don't, that project I was going to work on this morning, I'm not going to do it because I'm too hungover. Yep. And let me focus on just getting breakfast. I'm not going to really focus on what I need to grind and move forward. Mm-hmm. So it causes this trickle-down effect where, okay, you had the great night and you party, right? But then Sunday happened, Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday you finally feel better, but you just burned 3 days where you could have been productive.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. I tell my clients now with group training and personal training is like, listen, I don't care if you drink, right? It's one of my biggest things. Like, I personally, I don't drink, and it's because I realize the negative aspects for it for me.
Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of people that do drink, and they can maintain very healthy lifestyles, but when I tell people this, it's usually when I'm recommending it to like my personal clients. Hey, don't go out drinking. It's because they've shown me a pattern to where I see it in their charts every time they send me their their meal plans and stuff. I see it. They go out on a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. They're on a downhill slump. They're either overeating or undereating. Their workouts aren't as good. Then they come back up on a Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday comes again. They're dropping again. Yeah. Then they're like, oh, why am I not losing weight?
Bro, it's not practical.
You're spending that Saturday, and everyone thinks it's just those 2 days of overeating. No, because then you go into the next few days feeling like shit, and then you get into your emotions, and then you're just out of this routine.
Your body needs 2 days to recover from the 2 nights of partying you did. So it's really 4 days. And if there's 7 days in the week,
like now you have more days back.
Yeah,
like, bro, it's like, why do this to yourself? But it's just understanding that taking care of yourself is really not. It's selfish in itself, but it's truly not selfish because it's going to give you a great opportunity, especially like going way back into the beginning of this. We're in a situation that we're in this natural disaster is we're able to help so many more people, no matter how small, like just the gym being open. And I can say it from my personal aspect, even though I wasn't badly affected, is the aspect that I'm able to come here and just mentally relieve and just not think about anything else while on the mats. Yeah. And then know that when anyone else comes in, hey man, do you need a shower? Do you need a hot meal? All right, cool. Do you need a place to go? hey, do you guys know anywhere that we can go to go help people? Like
we had members going over other members' houses just to take a shower, to charge their phone. Bro, this doesn't happen if the first step of opening the gym happens. You need
and people will look at, why are you opening up a gym right now? Like, this is the time.
How could you open it up during this tough time? Bro, because this is a community aspect and we don't get these connections. Those members could not have taken showers, could not have charged their phones to get in contact with people had the gym been closed. They would have never been able to contact and make these connections.
With that person.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. That's where, again, this... And I don't want to just say this generation. I hate generalizing in aspects because every generation has their faults in some way, shape, or form. But it's like there's certain things that people need to start focusing on. And
no generation is perfect.
Yeah,
each one has its flaws.
Everyone has like their things with it, like what they call the World War II generation. They're called the greatest generation. Yeah, they were war fighters. These guys did a lot for us. I mean, we probably would have been speaking German, man. It would have been a thing. We would have spoke German if it wasn't for our hard chargers there. But then it's like we have the forgotten generation right afterwards, and it's like then you see a downhill slope because these guys went through hell, came back, they go through more hell, and then their children suffered, and then those children brought us up, and so it's like you have to see how these things all compound effect. And so what I am liking now is even through social media, there is a slight turn coming up where you're starting to see these people realizing that mental health is really important because then mental health goes to physical, and then when you're top tier in both of those, usually you have more success, and with that higher success breeds just more people doing better for each other.
Yeah.
What I don't like is the soft side of everything. Is like you were saying, where people just crumble. And I'm like, listen, and I'm someone who can say I struggle with like certain mental health things, but with that, I also understand what puts me up at a higher level. So why would I not be selfish in those aspects?
But the thing, so like when it comes to mental health, this is like my biggest thing is like people want the quick fix for mental health. So like you said before about your mental health. But you take the proper steps of, okay, I don't drink. Yep. If often, I think we've been friends now, years now. I think I've only never.
Haven't.
Yeah, I can't even think.
December 2020.
Yeah, I've known this guy so long, and I'm thinking back in my head. I was like, man, have I ever shared a beer with you? Have I ever like had a shot with you? And I'm thinking back. I'm like, we go out with our friends, and I'm similar to Joseph. I've had drinks here and there. But like the last time I had a drink was New Year's. So we're in what? We're in October now. That's almost 10 months of like not drinking. It's not something that like, it's weird because like if you go out with people and you're like, oh, I'm not going to drink tonight, I'll just have water. People automatically
have to have a reason.
You have to
have a reason.
Oh, you used to be an alcoholic. And I'm like, dude, I just don't like the way I feel the next couple of days afterwards. Mm-hmm. So like, I hate that stigma of like, oh, you don't drink. Why don't you drink?
It's the only drug that is wholly accepted without any stipulation, and you're judged if you don't.
If
partake.
you don't, yeah. And like, dude, like,
it's weird.
I forgot who I was talking to, but I brought that up. I was like, you know what? I just realized I haven't had a drink since New Year's, and like they're like, oh, is something wrong? I'm like, nothing's wrong. It's just I don't go out of my way. Like I can have fun, and that's what's good about our friend group. I really appreciate like our friend group, like. You know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to bring up their names on here if they don't want to be talked about. But what I like about our friend group is nobody pressures each other. Like, if somebody wants to have a drink, have a drink. If somebody doesn't, we don't care. Like,
it was the first
we're
time.
We're good having water. I like orange juice and here and there, lemonade. I don't care. Like iced teas and stuff.
First time I went out with all you guys is like, I remember. We all went out. One of the guys, he was just like, hey man, can I get you a drink first night out and all that? And I was like, oh, actually I don't drink. And he was like, oh, was there any issues? I was like, it's just not my thing anymore. I just don't feel like I like drinking that much. He was just like, oh, cool, dude. You want some water? We can go tell him right now.
Yeah.
So automatically, and like, that's the thing. And again, it goes back to finding those small communities and having something so small, like just a gym to open. And to be able to have those connections with people is like, and I'm sure everyone was reaching out to you as you were probably reaching out to everyone else during the hurricane. I was doing the same thing. And just that text message to receive it, I know like I had a lot of people after the hurricane passed, once everyone got service, thanking me I was literally just being, just a person.
Just checking in.
Just a person. I can't do anything in it, but hey, is something going on right now? Like, I'd get in my car.
Is there anything we could do, like drive to you? Do you need a place to come take a shower?
Yeah.
A simple thing of like, bro, come over the house, hang out for an hour, take a shower, hang out on the couch for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I don't give a shit. Stay as long as you want.
Exactly.
We'll watch TV, bullshit, and like it's a couple hours of just helping somebody be comfortable for a while in this terrible situation. But I want to circle back because I had a point with like the mental health is like, you brought up like, oh, so I don't drink, I work out, I do XYZ, my vitamins, whatever supplementation and eating good and all this stuff. So you go about your mental health the right way of like, okay, this is not a I'm gonna fix it tomorrow thing. This is a lifestyle of like, I know these are the pitfalls and I'm gonna do my best to avoid the pitfalls. The problem I have with mental health nowadays is that the newer generation, again, I hate to generalize, but the newer generation wants the quick fix of just hand me pills. Like, I feel bad, just put me on, I don't know, what's one of the Prozac. Give me Prozac and I'll feel amazing afterwards. And I'm not saying that certain people don't need those drugs, but I think doctors are too willing to be like, here's a script, here's a script, here's a script, here's a script.
I don't want to just blame doctors either.
I don't want to blame them, but that script has to come from somebody.
Yeah. I can tell you from my personal experience, I told my doctor, like, I don't like pills. I don't want to take them. I know the epidemic, especially in the veteran community, it's a huge epidemic. And I was like, I don't want to be a part of that. Can we find other methods? Yeah. We waited a year and a half of me trying things out before they were like, this is our last option. And it's because I was already doing everything else. Exactly. And I wasn't making the progress that we were looking for. So he was like, listen, I understand. But what we're going to do is put you on this plan, and we already have it mapped out of where I should be slowly decreasing at that point. Obviously, we're in constant contact, but it shows that you have to also take that responsibility. But it just wasn't one thing. Yeah. It wasn't one thing. It was a factor of things that you did as well. Exactly. The problem is, though, that I see so many people that they think the one thing, oh, if the doctor just gives me a script, this is going to solve all my problems. Like, no. If I can tell you from personal experience with these pills, that's not how that works. Bro, people think if they get the pills, oh, I could still eat bad. I could go out partying. I could go out drinking. They don't take into account everything that goes into it. It's not healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, it has to be the whole makeover of your life, the whole changing of how you live your life. It cannot just be dependent on, oh, the pills and then everything's going to be perfect and go amazing in my life. No, you still got to go to the gym. You still got to eat healthy. You still got to supplement properly. You still got to do the right things, get enough sleep, not go out partying every night. But people don't do that. They just want the quick fix.
And they because they're happy with that little feeling. And I get it. If you're happy with that, cool. But understand, one, it's not sustainable. No. But when you want to get older and things like that, it's just not going to be your thing because you're going to have other priorities. And I mean, and again, it depends on the type of lifestyle you want. But what gets me is when they're doing these things and then these are the same people complaining that someone else has it better than them.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you know what that other person is doing? Not going out. And they're like, oh, well, I want to be able to have millions, but still be able to go out. You think that person got millions without going out?
And was partying every night?
Talk to any of these, and that's where I say, instead of judging these millionaires and people that have it all, people think that they all got it handed to them from mom and dad. Like, a lot of them actually work hard. I think it's like the statistic that recently came out, it was like 88% or 82%, somewhere within the 80% range, didn't get anything handed to them and they built it from the ground up.
Yeah.
That's hard work and sacrifices. And that's the thing, you will make sacrifices. I can tell you, so I own my own dog training business. I started it because I was down and out for a little bit and I was about to be out of work. Luckily, I had, again, good community that was able to offer me literally day where I was like, hey, you have nothing. We need you to work. Show up tomorrow. And let me tell you, I don't know how many people are out there. This is where he was also shocked about. The next day, he was like, show up tomorrow at 4:30 in the morning. How many people do you know, if they are really down and out, they're going to say, hey, wake up at 4:30 tomorrow? No, be there at 4:30 tomorrow and be ready to work.
Yeah.
Automatically, I was like, okay. He thought I was joking. The second he said, he was like, you want to come in at 4:30? I was like, yes. Yeah. And he was just like, what? Like, for real? I was like, yes, I will be there tomorrow. I showed up at 4:15, ready to go. And he was just like, damn, you're here early. Like, the guy was there a lot earlier than me because it's his business. But where he's at now is also what I see. It was like, all right, if that's what it takes, I'm going to do it.
And it's the initiative to do it.
Yeah, that's really what it, and it blows me away when people don't have that because I'm like, then what do you expect? Someone to just come in and give it to you?
Bro, you cannot bank on the fact that Superman's going to save you.
No.
You have to be your own Superman to save yourself. You cannot just sit on your hands and knees and wait around with your thumb up your ass waiting for some godsend to come down and, oh, it's going to cure all my problems. You have to take those steps. You have to save yourself. If you bank on other people, I'm telling you right now, some people will help you, but a lot of the times people will let you down because they're too busy trying to save themselves.
And let me tell you, and that my situation, that didn't come out of me asking people.
Yeah.
They just knew my situation, and it was. But they saw me. I was like, yeah,
opportunity.
I'm already coming up, and I'm making my personal training page pop up again. I'm making sure my group training. I was in contact with another contractor immediately, so people are seeing me put that effort out, and they're like, all right, let me offer him something. Because they see that work first. They see that effort. No one is going to hire someone based off of your words of, I am a hard worker.
Yeah.
Show me you're a hard worker.
Everybody thinks they're a hard worker,
Everyone
dude.
will say
How many people we know that are like, I'm a grinder. I work hard. I'm going to, when they first do jiu-jitsu.
I'm training every day.
I'm going to be here every day. Bro, in 10 years of doing this thing, I can't tell you how many people I met. They're like, bro, you're going to get sick of me because you're going to see me in the gym every day.
And in 2 years, I can tell you now, in 2 years, I am one of the, I think out of everyone I started with, I am the only one that can still make it a daily occurrence.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it. Like and that's just 2 years. And that's what people don't get is, one, I'm lucky. I have my wife. She does a lot for me when I'm gone. She's able to take out the dog. She takes care of it, especially at night. She cooks dinner. I usually come home to a cooked meal. If not, I can cook it myself.
Sorry,
but
guys.
it's like, he's done now. He does not
Water
drink.
went down the wrong way.
But it's this whole thing where it's like you have to understand that, like, it's a group effort, but there's sacrifices that you yourself have to make.
Dude.
And when it comes down to it, it's not about words. Words don't matter.
Words don't mean shit. Listen,
really
I'm
don't.
telling you, the amount of people are like, you're going to get sick of me, Joe and Fabio, because you're going to see me every day on these mats. And it usually happens for like a month or two. But then what happens? Burnout happens. They don't realize, oh, this is a marathon, not a sprint. You got to pace yourself. You don't just get a black belt in like 2 years. Like, it takes time.
And then when you get to that first hard roll, like that's the thing too. You'll go those first few months, and then people
here's
realize.
a spoon. You better be comfortable with eating shit for a while.
Oh,
you like to taste the shit? You better like to taste the shit because you're going to taste this shit for a long time.
I spent 3 months getting tossed around, flying, and that's not me like, oh, I don't get it anymore. I get it still. It happens today.
But it happens less and less. The plates of shit get little and little and little. You still eat shit, trust me. To this day, I still eat a lot of shit. But my plate of shit started out this big. And over time, 5-year mark, 7-year mark,
from an MMA
10-year mark.
Just get punched
I'm eating this much shit, but the shit sandwich is, not as much.
Like I used to taste. It's not bad.
Yeah. Hey, it's keto, right? So it's all good.
But that's what's crazy. Is like people in every aspect of life, and that's what to just bring it into jiu-jitsu again is what I love about jiu-jitsu itself is you every day I'm in here. What I love is I get humbled. Every single day. Well, if I have a good day, the humbling part comes from I remember where I used to be, and I was like, wow, I was able to catch that sweep. I was able to hold my guard retention. Something so simple as I was able to keep my fucking legs closed longer against the dude sitting there hammering into my thighs. Like,
bro, some days a good day is just, I survived.
About it.
Bro, some days a good day is just, I survived. Like, I made it to the mats. It was that taking that step of getting out the door, getting to the mats. I just survived today. Like, I felt like shit. This hurts, this hurts, this hurts, this hurts.
And those days this is nothing. Goes back to even businesses and things like that. Those days are like the 90%.
Oh, yeah.
And people want to look at that and just be like, no, I want
the 10%.
I want that 10% every single day, and if I don't get it, I'm upset.
Bro, it doesn't work that way, man. It doesn't work that way. Let me tell you something. So I'm 31 now. Old as fuck. I'm 31 now. I started working out when I was 18. It was the year I graduated, maybe 17. It was the year I graduated high school. That summer after I graduated. So we're talking 14 years, 13, 14 years now of like working out every day, doing some sort of martial art every day. And in this time, the balance of good versus bad days is like all these bad days and these good days. But I cherish these so much, and they're so nice when they do happen that it makes it worth eating that pile of shit.
And then you can also catch it too. It's like when you catch that, you're just like, I remember this guy, his Darcis. He's just like Darce King over here. It's fucking annoying.
I don't know what you're talking about. And what's a Darce?
It's 2 years. I was talking about it with one of our guys yesterday. 2 years. And it's not that I could stop his darces. He can still get the one. It's like the level. But it's the fact that I used to never even be able to catch the wrist. And to now where I'm like, oh, the hand's going to come here. He has to shoot it here, or I can bump up here. That little catch, and I'm satisfied with that. Because, one, the difference in level, he's 10 years, I'm about to be in 2. And I know if I can at least start seeing that, that means someone in my level. Yeah, but it also shows me someone in my level, I'm not going to feel threatened.
Bro, in the beginning, I think every couple of seconds in the roll, Darce. I got him all the time.
Right. There was one day I got caught 10 times in 5 minutes. I wanted to die.
But if you don't experience that shitty feeling, I don't even want to say shitty feeling, but that learning experience of like getting caught. When you finally click in your brain like, oh, he gets it because he does this. Now, when we roll, I barely, maybe once in a blue moon, I catch him with one. It doesn't really happen that often. The only way you get to this point of like becoming good at defending it is by getting caught and eating that shit. Yeah.
And that, to wrap it all up, is because we're getting close on time. We're kind of done over it. But to bring that back, that goes into business, that goes into life, that goes into jiu-jitsu, into the gym, is understanding that all those shitty moments will pile up. But your attitude towards it, and it wraps it up to this devastation that we're seeing in our city, is your attitude towards the situation is what's really going to change it. And I know everyone, and it's very cliche to say, but it's your attitude towards it is what's going to determine your outcome. Yeah. If you want to sit here, and we can stick with the jiu-jitsu example, where if I came in every day and I was like, I'm just not getting good. This sucks. I'm a daily person. I show up 3 hours a day. And if I was just like, oh, I'm just going to lose again. If I had that mentality, I was like, why am I showing up? Yeah. I would end up quitting. But I come in here and I tell myself, all right, Joe's going to go for a Darce. I want to try to stop the wrist. Yeah. Or if he has a big backstep he does, when he does that backstep, my one goal, and this was 6 months of working it, is I'm going to catch that foot and I'm going to be able to shove his head away. Yeah. And that was it. It was 6 months. Every single day he's getting this technique on me. But I came in every day. I was like, this will be the day. This will be the day. And then one day I finally caught it. He was able to get out within a few seconds, but I was like, I caught the foot. Yep. And that's all it was. It was boom, quick catch. He still made a bigger step over. Whatever. Yeah. I caught that foot, so now I know where I can start working towards.
But that's the beauty of it, because when that moment happened, when you did catch the foot, you're like, oh, like it worked.
I was actually happy a bit roll too. I was like, I caught the foot, and then he passed me and still crushed me.
That's a win. That's a win that you said. It took 6 months to get to this win, but it's a win. And now you build upon it more, and now you build upon it more. That's the only way to get better. And that applies for life too. If every time you got punched in the face when something didn't go your way, bro, you would give up after the first day. Oh, I want to start a business. Oh, but there's so many problems. I keep getting hit in the face.
Bunch of other competing businesses. Let me tell you, dog training? There's a shit ton of dog trainers here. Whether they're certified or not certified, I went to a school for this. Yeah. There's a lot of people who looked up on YouTube, and they're running perfectly good businesses. So I'm not saying you have to go to school for it, and you can still learn. But if I was like, oh, there's all these guys out here, and
you would give up after the first day.
I would give up. If I was like, I had rough months. I just started this business 8 months ago. And if I was just like, oh, I don't have a shit ton of clients, I'm not making thousands of dollars a month. I switched my mentality. I have one client. One person trusted me enough, and I gave them 110%. That one person gave me 5 clients. Yep. One person. And got me on the news. Give your all to everything you're doing, no matter how small, and I promise you those things will repay you like tenfold. And it's a huge thing.
It's a huge thing, and that's why we're never gonna fucking quit this podcast. That's episode 2 of Fresh Off the Mats. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.